unless you have an acoustically treated studio, your headphones are probably the most important piece of audio equipment you own. But what are the right headphones for you? I have multiple pairs of headphones, and that's not flexing. It's because I need them for specific tasks. The headphones that I use range in price from around £90 to well over £1,000. But depending on your needs, price isn't going to be the only consideration. But before I get into the headphones that I use and why, for this video, I need you to know 3 important things. Firstly, this video is not sponsored in any way whatsoever. Secondly, all the models I'm going to talk about are wired headphones. The third thing is, to protect my hearing, it's important to me that a headphone sounds clear at low volumes. All of the headphones that I'm going to talk about today are capable of that. We're starting with these. Now, these are made by Yamaha. They are model MT8 MT5. They cost around £90. So these are a relatively affordable pair of
closed back, circumaural, lightweight, foldable,
studio monitoring headphones with an impedance of 51 ohms and a sensitivity of 100 decibels.
Don't worry, I'm going to explain all of that. So these headphones are closed back, which means that literally the backs of them are completely sealed. That makes them suitable for recording because sound won't leak from the back of them and then go into the microphone, which would otherwise contaminate your recording. It also means that they provide you some isolation from the sounds in your environment, so you might find you can concentrate better on what you're doing. Circumaural simply means that the ear cups go around your ear rather than sitting on top of them. Most people, including me, prefer circumaural designs for comfort reasons. However, sometimes headphones with much larger circumaural ear cups can put pressure on your cheekbone, which some people find uncomfortable after a time. So it's always good to try before you buy if you can. The fake leather ear cups can get a bit warm in the summer, and the ear cups themselves aren't all that deep. So while they are fine for me with my little ears, if you have ears on the larger side, you might find that your ears touch the drivers on the inside, which again could get uncomfortable. Otherwise, weighing just 245 grams, these are lightweight and comfortable. When they are folded down like that, they're pretty small, so they can fit in your bag easily when traveling. The cable is also detachable and therefore replaceable if it breaks. That impedance of 50 ohms essentially means that they present a very modest electrical load to your device that's powering them. So your smartphone or tablet should have no trouble giving you enough volume with these. Now, being a studio monitor style headphone, these are engineered to sound revealing of what's going on in your mix, not necessarily to make the mix sound consistently pleasant or impressive. That said, these Yamahas do sound nice when you listen to them. The bass is strong, yet clean. Everything is clear, especially the mid-range, which is exceptional. It is perhaps a little bit forward, but it's as good or better than headphones costing many times more than these. While the treble response does roll off a little bit early, what's there is pretty neutral, it's never harsh, and easy to listen to. So for me, these, the Yamaha MT5s, are without doubt my pick of the sub 100 headphones for both listening and recording. I think you can use these for mixing and mastering as well, although if you do, you should take into account the slightly subdued high frequencies to avoid making an overly bright mix. But overall, these are fantastic, great all-rounders and exceptional value for money. These are Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros. These particular headphones are actually also available in 3 different variants: 32 ohm variant, 80 ohm and 250 ohm variants. And they're all at the same price. The 32 ohm variant is more suitable for use with portable devices, while the higher impedance rated variants sound a little better, but do require more juice to get them going. But in all 3 cases, that cable is unfortunately permanently attached, so it can't easily be replaced. They're a little more expensive than the Yamaha MT5s at around £130 a pair. They are, again, closed back, so good for recording, but they don't collapse or fold down, so not very portable. The greatest strength of these headphones is how comfortable they are. They are, as you can see, again, circumaural, but this time with velour pads, which you can wear for long periods without discomfort, even in warmer weather. The pads are also a bit larger than the Yamaha MT5s, and they're deeper too, so people with larger ears may find these fit a bit better. Weight-wise, they come in at just over, I think, 270 grams, as I recall, so they won't become a burden on the top of your head over time. I use these when I'm live streaming or hosting podcast sessions in the studio. However, I wouldn't personally use these for mixing or mastering because they have what's commonly referred to as a smiley curve frequency response. So that is to say, the mid-range frequencies are a little bit recessed and the bass and the high frequencies are slightly exaggerated. That's not to say that they sound bad, because they don't. It's a very enjoyable sound, but I feel there are more revealing and accurate sounding alternatives for mixing and mastering. Next, we have the Yamaha MT8s. Now, these are a more upmarket, better built model in Yamaha's MT range, and they sell for around £200. They are, again, closed back, like their MT5 brothers, and they have a detachable cable as well, and they fold down just like their little brothers. But as you can see, they are a little bit larger and they're actually heavier than the MT5s as well, weighing in at 350 grams. That extra weight might be noticeable to some. Personally, I don't find it a problem at all, and they are pretty comfortable. The ear cups are a softer leather material than the MT5s as well, a bit more luxurious feeling, but like the MT5s, those with larger ears may find them a bit shallow, and the material that they're made from, again, can make your ears a little bit hot during longer recording sessions. These MT8s are very easy to drive, so should work with pretty much anything you connect them to. The sound, though, may not be what you expect from a more expensive headphone. They have less bass than the MT5s, although it is very clear and well defined. The mid-range isn't quite as forward, but the high frequency response extends much further. Now, on first listen, this can make them sound a little bland, maybe even a touch bright and lacking substance. But in reality, what they're doing is what they're supposed to, and they act like a clean window into your mix. I would say these are 100% a studio headphone with recording and mixing and mastering in mind. They wouldn't be my first choice for casual listening. This time we're looking at the Sennheiser HD600s. I've had this very pair of headphones for about 20 years, and Sennheiser still makes them, selling them for around £300. I also have a closely related pair of these called the HD6XX, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about these in a few minutes or in a second. The HD600s are open back headphones, meaning they're not really suitable for recording because the sound does leak out of the back of them and into the microphone. When you put them on, you'll still hear everything clearly going on around you in your room, and personally, I prefer that. Closed backs can sometimes feel a little bit claustrophobic. This also means that your ears can breathe a little bit better, and therefore they don't get as warm during long recording sessions. I'd say pound for pound, an open back headphone usually sounds more natural and open than closed back headphones, although there are good and bad examples of both, so it's not a guarantee. These have an impedance rating of 250 ohms, so that's high and presents a challenge to most mobile devices. Although their sensitivity is okay, so they will still work for you if you listen at low volumes, but they do sound better when connected to a more powerful headphone amplifier. These are another circumaural design with large, soft ear cups that are, honestly, about as comfortable as you'll find on any headphone. And although they do look quite big, they're actually pretty lightweight, and they weigh just 260 grams. I find I can wear these for hours and hardly notice that I'm wearing them. The cables They are replaceable. They sort of connect to both sides rather than just one, but they are replaceable. Sonically, they cross the line really well between being easy on the ear and being a window into your mix. I use them less these days than I used to because I've become more aware of their shortcomings. So to describe the sound of these, the mid-range on these is gorgeous. The treble is open and clear, perhaps a touch too strong at times, but the bass is quite weak. I've become accustomed to that and I've learned to compensate for their weak bass, but I still need to check the mixes on other equipment just in case some errant sub-bass has crept in that I couldn't pick up on the HD600s. The very similar HD6XX and equally similar HD650 headphones, which are basically the same model but just in a different colour. They look almost identical to these, but they do have a slightly retuned frequency response. So these HD6XXs have a little bit more bass and those highs are toned down just a tad. They are lovely to listen to, but although that extra bass is there, the bass isn't particularly deep, so it's still not easy to get the low bass in your mix sounding right on any of these HD model headphones. So these are made by a company called Audeze, that's A-U-D-E-Z-E, and they are model LCD-X. Every other headphone I've talked about so far today uses what are called dynamic drivers, which is the same basic technology that you'll find in loudspeakers, just smaller. These are different. They are what are called planar magnetic headphones. They cost around, wait for it, £1,200 a pair. And I understand to most people that probably sounds crazy. But let me tell you, if you're working with audio and it's your job, these things are worth every single penny. They're not perfect, no headphones are, but they are engineered with studio mixing and mastering in mind. They're open back, so again, not suitable for recording. And actually, these do leak a lot from the back, so I definitely wouldn't use these when tracking vocals or if you simply don't want anybody to hear what you're listening to. As you can see, they are big and they are heavy. They weigh over 600 grams, and after a time you feel that weight on your head. Although, as you can see, the ear cups are extra large and they are real leather, very soft and comfortable. But that weight though does mean I personally don't like to wear these for more than about an hour at a time. They also, because they are very large, put some pressure on your cheekbones here, which, as I mentioned earlier, some people may find a problem over time. Whoops. They also have a habit of pulling your glasses off when you remove them. The cables are detachable and they are a low impedance, high sensitivity design, which unusually for a very high-end pair of headphones means you don't need a massive headphone amplifier to drive them. It's also worth mentioning that planar magnetic headphones like these should be handled with care. The drivers inside here are very delicate, so they're definitely not portable unless you don't mind lugging around the giant padded case that they come supplied with. But sonically, take everything great about all the headphones I've previously talked about, add it all together, and you'd still not have a tool like these. Everything from the deepest lows to the highest highs is clear and neutral sounding. Generally, as a professional mastering headphone, these LCD-X from Audeze really excel. All of the headphones I've mentioned in this video are strong representations in their price category. They all sound good, and you should be happy owning any of them, providing they fit your needs. And hopefully this video has helped you identify what those are. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon in another video. Bye bye.